You're listening to Trax FM's podcast. If you've enjoyed our content, more podcasts are available on the RTM Click app and website. Let us know what you think. Please email us at traxfm.rtm@gmail.com. Like and follow us on social media at TraxFM Official.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the second hour of Trax Momentum. I'm your host, Anil, on the mic, and today's interview feature is called Spectrum, and also to all of our listeners tuning into the show worldwide across any one of the 24 time zones via RTM Click. I bid you good afternoon, good evening, as the case may be. And, well, on today's edition of the show, we'll be talking about the importance of community projects. And to shed some light on that and to join in the conversation, I have on the phone line Professor Ahmad Ismail, who is the president of Persatuan Ekologi Malaysia. Professor, good morning.
Good morning, Anil. How are you?
I'm doing great, Professor. I love your energy, and I'm excited to have this conversation with you.
Oh, yeah, I see. From your voice, I'm so excited.
Okay, all right. Let's get it started. Have you had your breakfast?
Oh, yeah, already. Thank you.
Okay, great. So to start things off on our conversation, Professor, perhaps you can enlighten and enhance the understanding of our listeners and tell us more about what is the function of Persatuan Ekologi Malaysia and some of its objectives.
Okay, thank you. This Persatuan Ekologi Malaysia, or Ecological Society of Malaysia, is established a long time ago. And the idea of having this, after we learn from the public that not many people understand about ecology, respect the ecosystem, and then willing to work more on that. So based on that, we established Persatuan Ekologi Malaysia with the objective of increasing awareness and knowledge on ecology, and then together we support the nature conservation, and at the same time we are promoting especially the students in the school and in the university to understand, to create awareness, and then do more research on ecology. You know, as you know, ecosystem is very important. Now we're talking about climate change, about biodiversity loss, about the local community participation. So the knowledge and readiness of the community is very important. So this is why we, the Persatuan Ekologi Malaysia is established, and then we do activities mostly with the youth, especially the students from school and university.
It's interesting that you mentioned about, community projects, because part of what community projects also do is that it empowers communities to take ownership of their own development, right, Professor?
Oh, yes.
It takes ownership of the development. It fosters a sense of, a sense of belonging, right? That everybody has a vital part to play in the development of.
Exactly, yes.
So talk to us the extent of the youth's involvement in your movement right now.
We focus on students at school and students at university. At school, we create knowledge and awareness, and they do some simple activities. Say, for example, through their co-curriculum activities, understanding about nature, understanding about the school compounds, the ecology, and then understanding about for example, many activities now, students and teachers go to the beach collecting rubbish, plastic especially, to create awareness, understanding about that. And for the university students, we have an annual event for last more than 7-8 years. Every year in November, we have a seminar, so the students can present their findings, and this will develop their interest to study more on ecology. As you know, ecology, you have to go out to the field.
Yes.
So now we are facing the 3D, the danger, the difficult, and dirty jobs.
The 3D jobs, yeah.
Yeah, 3D jobs. So not many people like to go there, but we blend the new knowledge and technology together, give it to the young people, and now the knowledge has become, the interest has become more among the students. Right.
But Professor, I'm actually pretty keen to know what actually sparked the emphasis on the involvement of youth in all of your community projects. Why specifically the youth is being given a lot of emphasis to be involved? Give us your thoughts.
That's very interesting. What we are doing today is for the future. So the future generation, so they have to understand, and they don't want to... See, I give you an example about the plastic pollution in the ocean, right?
Okay.
So the whole world are now United Nations are proposing ending of plastic pollution.
Mm-hmm.
Plastic, we cannot run away from using plastic every day.
Right.
In fact, from head to toe, we have a plastic in our clothes and whatever.
Absolutely. We can't run away from that. Yes.
Yeah. So we throw plastic everywhere. And you see in the landfill site, we put the rubbish in the food waste or in the plastic and we bring to the landfill site. And then this plastic will take years, hundreds of years to decompose, right?
Right.
And now, if we put it everywhere, we throw it everywhere, they will go to the ocean. When they go to the ocean, they will kill or by mistake the turtles or the fish.
Yes.
That's why we need this, and the youth will understand, aware, create the awareness, and do the work. So like collecting or cleaning the beaches. So this is very important. Where we involve youth. At the same time, if they are far from the beach, for example, they understand when they throw the plastic from their house, where it goes. It goes to the stream, go to the river, go to the ocean. So they must stop from their home.
Right.
Manage plastic at home. So that's why we are promoting ideas, knowledge, and awareness among the youth. They are very important to have this.
It's very enlightening for you to share, because what you said, what we use at home, it eventually ends up in the ocean. And you mentioned something about the turtle, because I'm sure a lot of us would have seen videos of turtles having these straws used by human beings stuck between their nose, and then they find it really hard to extract it from them. And you can see literally the pain in the eyes of the turtles, right? And that is just very painful to see, just because of us being a bit selfish, maybe using straws. That's why we don't use straws. Some restaurants actually have straws that are made out of cardboard or paper, I think.
Yeah, the worst thing when they eat plastic, the plastic will go to the ocean by the mechanical or biological reaction. It comes to microplastic, small pieces of plastic, and they are taken by this animal and stuck in their stomach. It's very difficult to digest, and they will die. So 90% of the seabirds are eating plastic. So this is where we want to stop plastic go to the ocean.
Seabirds are eating plastic, 90% of them.
Yeah, when they go to the ocean, they thought their food, they bring back to the chick to the beach or their breeding place. So they're feeding the chick by this plastic. So this is very dangerous.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
When we are not in the environment, so our ecosystem will disturb, disturb in the cycle. Right.
Since we're still talking about animals, Professor, do you have a recollection? Do you have an instance where you encountered or you saw firsthand an animal that was suffering in front of you because of, plastic waste? Apart from the turtle story, do you have any other stories you can share for our listeners?
Say seabird, eagles, for example. When they want to catch the plastic bag floating in the ocean. So by mistake, sometimes I saw this with my own eyes. They try to catch the fish, but in fact, they are catching the plastic bag.
Oh, they get fooled by that.
Yeah, when the plastic bag, the handles of the bag stuck in their feet, and then they fly with that plastic, and it's very difficult to take it out. How you want to help them? Yeah, so this is very, very important. That why we need control. We need to control the plastic so that don't go to the environment. So we need to manage it.
Right. Now let's talk about community projects, Professor. Could you provide some instances that your organization, Persatuan Ekologi Malaysia, has performed, which emphasize on how youths can actually collaborate and work together with local communities to create an impact?
Oh yeah, this is what I said just now. When we involve the students at school level and the university, so they can work with the community, the local community, through the parent-teacher association, for example. Say, for example, we talk about plastic pollution just now.
Right.
Or oil recycle, the cooking oil recycle. So when they understand, they bring back to their parents support them, they bring those material waste to school, and the school can recycle them, reselling them, and they can make money from that activity. So this one, many schools in Malaysia is doing it.
Okay.
But the government or the authority need to provide more facilities where to bring this plastic or oil, waste cooking oil to the next step to process it. So this is support from the local community, the local authority. But the student now, many schools are doing it. And then another level, at the university student, besides doing the community, we are encourage them to do research. For example, we organize seminar on Ulu Muda, right? Ulu Muda in Kedah. Then ask them to do research there, observation, either in science or socio-economy, and then they present in our seminar, and then from there, public can share their findings, and then public can understand more why Ulu Muda is important as a source of water for Penang, for Kedah, for 40% of our rice and so on. So, meaning that from their contribution later, with the media, of course, we can highlight more public to focus or concern about the importance of conserving Ulu Muda. Right? And this coming 30th of November, we are going to have to focus on Tasik Bra.
Tasik Bra, okay.
Tasik Bra in Pahang, it is a first Ramsar site in Malaysia.
The first, sorry, can you repeat that? The first
Ramsar site in Malaysia. Ramsar site is the convention, the agreement of the International Committee signed in Ramsar, Iran in 1971.
Right.
So Malaysia is part of it. So Malaysia have number one Ramsar site in Tasik Bra. Okay. We have seven Ramsar sites in the whole Malaysia, in Johor, in Sarawak, and in Sabah. So we want to protect and preserve this Ramsar site with the support of local community. So last year, we called for the seminar on biological and socio-economy. We found out a very little work. So we encourage more university students to do research there, and now some of them are ongoing work. And this November, we are promoting the collaboration with Orang Semelai, local community, Orang Asli. Right? So this local Aborigines is a world demand so that local community must participate in the protecting of biodiversity and the ecosystem. So that's why community, local community, and the student or youth community is very important to engage in the program that Ekologi is doing.
Okay. Can you? I mean, you mentioned about the Ramsar site. Could you give us some context, draw some parallels just to enhance our understanding? What really is the Ramsar site? What's special about it? For example, in Tasik Bra, what's the highlight? What is it that we need to be, really intrigued about, Professor?
Yeah. See, the Ramsar site actually is talking about wetland.
Right. Wetland. Okay. Yeah. Like what we have here in the Selangor, Payenda wetlands.
Yeah, the river, the lake, and coastal environment. So this area is very important, especially now when we are talking about climate change, about the carbon stock, about the water. Yeah. Right? It's very important. So the Tasik Bra is the largest freshwater lakes in Peninsular Malaysia.
Right. Okay.
So then government agreed to establish or gazette this area as a first Ramsar site in 1975.
I see.
So this is protected area, right? So we want to protect this area green and then high biodiversity and so on. So Malaysia is the highest, one of the top 12 mega biodiversity in the world. So this is, so this Tasik Bra is very important. We want to make people know, and thanks to you and today for highlighting this, so that people know about this.
Absolutely. And I'm sure lots of our listeners right now will be very intrigued to go look this up online and find out more about Tasik Bra, especially the term that you used, the Ramsar site, which is an agreement signed in Iran back in the 1970s. It's very great.
So this is the national importance area.
Yes, absolutely. Professor, I tell you what, hold your thoughts right there. I know you've got lots of things to share, and we're eager to know more from you. But we'll just jump in for a quick break, and then when we come back, we'll resume with the discussion, okay?
Okay, right.
All right, great. And for those of you who tune in, my guest on the show today on Spectrum is Professor Ahmad Ismail. He's the president of Persatuan Ekologi Malaysia, and we're speaking about the importance of community projects. Keep it right here on Tracks Momentum. I'll be back with our guest on the phone lines.
Every Tuesday,
we have Spectrum.
That's how esports really...
Yes, we want people to be exposed to what the current labour market situation is.
I will talk about things that you normally don't hear strangers talk about.
catch Spectrum on Tracks FM, looking into matters relating to youth, arts, and culture. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to Spectrum on Tracks Momentum. I'm Anil on the mic. My guest on the phone lines today is Professor Ahmad Ismail. He's the president of Persatuan Ekologi Malaysia, and we're speaking about the importance of community projects. Professor, welcome back to the discussion.
Yeah, thank you.
Great. See, Professor, one thing great about community projects is that it can actually serve as a very powerful tool, for addressing all of these pressing social issues, like, climate change, climate effect, and, education, healthcare, environmental sustainability, carbon footprints, everything that you mentioned, right? It ticks all the boxes. Now, how do you think can participation in community projects positively influence the youths to be involved in personal development and also understanding environmental issues?
Very good question. As I mentioned just now, we involve schools, teachers, and university students. Right? You see how the link. I give you one example. Right? Say, for example, we are also fighting on the Selangor coastline. Selangor is the richest state in Malaysia. Selangor have a lot of people, higher educated people, and then educated youth. So Selangor also, the coastline of Selangor is very important for the migratory shorebird. Now they are coming from north, fly to south, and the 100 kilometers of Selangor coast is one of their popular stopover. So we want that area to be protected and very rich for food, so that the birds can eat and get the energy to fly south and then back to north to their breeding site. At the same time, the area can benefit the local fishermen, the offshore fishermen. We give example of Kuala Sungai Buloh in Selangor, right, near Kuala Selangor there. We want to appeal to the state government and the federal government to support this area to be another Ramsar site. And then this area should be protected, and they will provide very important our blood cockles. It's char kway teow. Everybody like to eat these cockles, right?
Cockles, yes.
Yeah, and there is very important place for cockle breeding. If there is a pollution from Sungai Buloh, go to the river mouth, and they will contaminate the environment. And at the same time, they will kill the cockles. And that area also a very good place for migratory shorebird for them to stop over before they fly north and south and north. So I'm telling you this story because you see how the economic importance of the area, right? The cockle, the migratory birds, and the tourism and everything. So this is the future for the young generation, especially the local people. And the people from far from that river area, in Kuala Lumpur, whatever, Shah Alam, they will benefit from that area if you protect. So this message should be well delivered to the school children, to the youth, and they will become a pressure group and supporting, say like tree plantation, beach cleaning, and then plastic control, whatever, so that this area can be protected and clean. This is for the future. So the community involvement is very important from the fishermen, from the school children, and the youth who have interest in that. University students will do their research to support the knowledge and awareness. So there's a link is very important to make the state government aware, understand, support, and then the private sector come forward, and then the whole nation will support. For example, we use the black cockle, the kerang for our hotel. So this is the thing that we need to give awareness, knowledge, so that public understand the change of cycle, so that pollution, conservation, protection, fishermen, economy, and everything. Where community involvement, the youth involvement is very important because they are very young, aggressive, active, and have a great future.
Yeah. It's one thing to do research, but at the same time, you need some people to go on the ground and be hands-on to start making the changes that has been found by the research itself, right?
Yes.
Now, Professor, I'm interested to know about your community programs, especially for the youth. Does it actually include any educational components, or do you have any modules that you actually use when you visit these maybe students at school? And if so, how is it that you ensure that, participants, especially the youth, they receive the necessary knowledge about preservation of the environment?
Yeah, that's very good question. Say, there are many I can give you example, right? Because government are very aware about this. One of the important things they put in the curriculum, right? They put in the curriculum and co-curriculum.
Okay.
Right? So in the curriculum, they already have the modules.
Okay.
The ministry have the module. The teacher now know how to teach. Say, for example, mangrove ecosystem is one of the important topics.
Okay.
Right? So what we NGO are doing, we provide the facilities or support when they want to come to, for example, they want to go to Kuala Selangor or Sungai Buloh. There is a fisherman that will help them because fisherman is already trained by the NGO. Right?
Okay.
So this is the thing. So the teachers can bring the student there. Either you want to go by boat or you just want to stay in the jetty, do the bird observation, discuss with the fisherman, and this one will develop their idea and relate to their teachers as a facilitator will relate to their curriculum activities.
Okay.
Right? They learn about biodiversity, how many species of bird, how many species of fish, whatever, what kind of ecosystem they are living in, what are the threats. It is in the curriculum. When they look at the area, then the teacher will explain, look, this is what we learned in the class, right? So then the student can understand, wow, then develop their interest, right? Either to protect through NGO or to further study at the higher level, right? I can see this, say for example, one of my former students working with the bank, right? When they work with the bank, they come up with the idea, they promote the volunteers in their bank, right, to come forward and then do tree planting, the mangrove planting and other tree planting. So this is to show that how their awareness or knowledge come from school, go to university, and then when they go back to the community, the public, their working community, and they promote the idea of conservation and go to the site as a visit.
It's interesting, right? It doesn't. Everyone's contribution doesn't necessarily have to be in the field of science and research. It can even be in terms of advocacy. Everyone has got something to contribute, right, Professor?
Yeah. I always say that, like Anil. Now you are talking to how many million people, right?
Yeah.
Listening to this. Say we take 10% or 3%, 5% listening, and then want to practice what we are talking about. So this is something very important that you play important role to promote and support this area.
Now let's talk about. I want to, put the spotlight now on your association, Persatuan Ekologi Malaysia, because if it wasn't for this organization, I'm pretty sure we won't be hearing you talk about all these great things that you're doing, especially with the community projects involving the youth. So tell us more about, the team that's behind, all of your projects, and how do their expertise actually contribute towards the successes that you've achieved so far?
So I have many teams. Like now, I'm focusing on Tasik Bra, right? So last year, as I mentioned, we organized seminar and we observed that lack of information, right? So when I know this lack of information, we promote the university student and the professors in other universities to do research in their expertise, right? And then there are good response from them, and some have a great idea. They want to bring this Tasik Bra to the United Nations level, even though it is already internationally important areas. So meaning that the support is there. And now, this coming seminar, I'm going to highlight on the local community. Local community, the focus is on Orang Semelai, the Aborigines there.
Okay.
So we need their understanding, we need their support, we need their understand more, recall back their belief from their ancestors on the nature and conservation, and then we want to practice it now. right? Besides increase or improve their economic status. So this is, I cannot do alone, right? So through your media and through other media, then we can bring people to know, understand, support. Say, for example, we have an institute, Pendidikan Guru, this teaching
Teachers Institute,
teachers, say nearby, say for example in Kuala Lumpur and in Kuantan. So they can put this Tasik Bra, Aborigines and ecology as their focus. So they can support this continuous activity through their training program. So meaning that we can cut the cost, we can develop the experts, and then we can bring the professors together, we can develop the young youth, the local community. So the change is there.
Professor, you actually mentioned something about the Orang Semelai, which is they are the indigenous people. And that is something that I've always been fascinated. I've always been very interested to get to know more about the indigenous community in Malaysia. And, these are the people who are actually living in the ecosystem as well. They rely on the producers in the rainforest for their livelihoods. But what always, bends my mind or really bothers me is that do they actually understand or do they actually know the things that they need to do? Or do they know what's happening outside and how they can actually help protect the environment? Or are they just naive?
Oh, no. Traditionally, they are the people who are taking care of the forest. They are the caretakers of the forest.
The caretakers, yes.
The problem is other people utilize them to make this over-harvesting, misuse, encroachment of the forest and so on. That's why we need to interfere. We need to make them understand better. We need to bring all agencies, the government agencies, to support this program.
Okay. So they very well know how to take good care of their territory, yeah?
Yeah, that's what I mentioned just now, to bring back their belief to what their ancestors have taught them on the maintaining the sustainability of the forest, because they are depending on forests, right? So they cannot spoil the forest. They need, say for example, Tasik Bra, they depend on fish, for example. They need to maintain the fish is there every day.
Yeah.
So this is what they are practicing. We need to enhance this knowledge to other people.
So it just goes to show that, by preserving the environment, it doesn't only help the sustainability of folks like us living in the city, but also for those living in the forest, like the indigenous community, because they rely on this as well.
Exactly, yes. Yeah.
Professor, thank you very much. I have more questions to ask you. We'll talk a little bit in detail about the challenges that you've been facing in your community projects and also any advice that you have before we wrap up the conversation. But we'll dive in for a quick break. All right, Professor?
Okay, right.
All right. My guest on the phone lines today is Professor Ahmad Ismail. He's the president of the Persatuan Ekologi Malaysia, and we're talking about the importance of community projects. I'm Anil on the mic. Keep it right here on Tracks Momentum. I'll be right back.
Every Tuesday,
we have this segment, Spectrum.
That's how esports really...
Yes, we want people to be exposed to what the current labour market situation is.
I will talk about things that you normally don't hear strangers talk about.
catch Spectrum on Tracks FM, looking into matters relating to youth, arts, and culture. Stay tuned.
And we're back online, live and direct from studio number 5. Good morning, everybody. I'm Anil on the mic. And on today's edition of Spectrum, I'm speaking to Professor Ahmad Ismail. He's the president of Persatuan Ekologi Malaysia. And Professor Ahmad Ismail is actually talking to us about the importance of community projects. Professor, welcome back to the discussion.
Okay, thank you.
All right, great. Professor, now we have 5 minutes left before we can wrap up the show. And I've got some very important questions to ask you. The first one is, I want to talk about, the challenges. Now, there are inevitable challenges and difficulties in pursuing community projects because there are lots of differences in communities. Can you briefly describe some of the challenges that your organization has experienced and how you as a team overcame them to continue encouraging youth participation for environmental change?
Thank you. As an educationist, I believe education is very important. And not that easy to change people's mindset. And say, for example, we talk about plastic just now. 2017, the nation already declared all over the world ending plastic pollution in the ocean. But now they repeat it again. But Malaysia also proposed this our roadmap for the zero plastic, zero straw, zero plastic bag, but still cannot solve the problem. Not that easy when we want to change the mindset, behavior, and so on. That's why we call it SEPA, communication, education, and public awareness.
SEPA.
Communication, education, and public. This is very important, meaning that we must educate the public, we must create the public awareness, we must communicate well what you are doing now, Anil. So this is very important and must be continuous, We cannot stop until we achieve our objectives. With the current development, with the current behavior, with the competing for the survival and so on, we face a lot of problems. And we must face the challenge systematically with knowledge, passion, and bring people together.
Whatever the challenges may be, consistency is really key, I think, Professor. Yeah.
Yes, consistency. Yeah.
Now, before I let you go, Professor, what advice would you give to other environmental organizations who have a similar cause that you do, and other community groups who are actually interested to engage the youths? Because the thing about the thing about engaging the youths is that you have to speak to them in a different language.
Oh yes.
You have to. You can't resonate to them, or you cannot connect to them if you don't understand their lingo, right?
Exactly.
Share some of your wisdom, Professor. How you've been so successful in engaging the youth in your projects.
Sometimes I have the idea. Okay, I know what is the problem, but I cannot reach them. I need the communicator. I need the people in between.
You need a mediator, right? Yeah.
Yes. Say, for example, now I need you to spread the knowledge, the news. But those who I have to follow through, who listening to this program, and that's what they can do. So this is very important. So meaning that we have to work together at all levels. And another thing, we need funding. Then we propose that all local corporate, local company, local community company can support the local issues, right? So then, say for example, the student need money for transportation. So some company can support, and then they can go to the place. For example, I mentioned about Kuala Selangor, about Sungai Buloh just now, about the cockles, right?
Yeah.
So make the student understand who can support this. Maybe one company can hire one bus and then bring the student and the teachers, go to the area and come back. And they will write. And now with the TikTok, with this new media, they can express their feeling, their understanding, and promote others to follow them. So this is important, yeah.
All right. Professor Ahmad Ismail, thank you very much for setting aside your time. You've been such a candid personality, I have to tell you that, and I'm sure the last 30 minutes is never enough. We can go on talking about lots of great things and interesting conversations. But before I let you go, very quickly, in just a couple of sentences, is there anything else that you wish to add to everything else that you've said today on the show?
Yeah. Together, we manage our environment. Make sure it's clean and healthy.
Okay. Thank you very much.
All right.
Well said. Professor Ahmad Ismail, thank you so much for your time today. And by the way, before I forget, my producer Lisham would actually like to send his regards to you. He says hi.
Thank you.
Okay. You have a good day. Professor. Take care.
Yeah. You should join me to Orang Semelai program.
Yes, sure. I'll keep in touch with you, and we'll try to see how we can work things out.
Yeah,
so,
special program there.
Okay. Thank you, Professor.
Right.
Have a good day. Bye-bye. All right, and that's it. That was my very interesting conversation with Professor Ahmad Ismail, the president of Persatuan Ekologi Malaysia, and today we spoke about the importance of community projects. Well, if you missed out on this very candid conversation that I had with Professor Ahmad Ismail, don't worry, you can head straight back onto our official Facebook page at Trax FM Official, and then replay the entire conversation there and find out more on how you can play a vital role in making an impact for our environment and keeping our nature safe. And today on the show, we learned that what we do directly impacts our lives, the lives of also other animals depending on the ecosystem, as well as the indigenous community in our country. Coming up in 5 minutes, we've got the 12 o'clock news updates, live and direct from Wisma Berita RTM. And then right after that, Anil on the mic, yours truly. I'll be back for the third hour of Trax Momentum. See you in a bit.
You're listening to Trax FM's podcast. If you've enjoyed our content, more podcasts are available on the RTM Click app and website. Let us know what you think. Please email us at traxfm.rtm@gmail.com. Like and follow us on social media at Trax FM Official.